Yeah, like Dimmu Borgir is not. They're not Satanists, but they wear the paint.
The paint and the costumes and
they're symphonic black metal.
I think they're more into it for the theatrical element, which I think is why so many bands still do wear the makeup, because it's part of the the presence of being black metal is to like show like, oh look, we look fucking evil and dark.
Right, but because of these Norwegian bands, it makes some of these bands. It might turn some fans off to these other bands who aren't Satan worshippers, but just because they wear the paint or because they sound like the Norwegian black metal bands, they don't want to have anything to do with them. When in reality, these are Dimmu is just regular guys, and they're just making music, and they love what they do.
Well, it's funny, to expand on that point. How often? I mean, I know I get it all the time where people go like, "Oh, what kind of music do you listen to?" And you go like, "Oh, I'm into metal." And they're like, "Oh, so you like worship Satan?" It just seems to be like
it goes with it.
Yeah, people who don't understand metal music immediately equate metal with Satan. And then you go like, "Well, no, I like this band Blind Guardian. They sing about Lord of the Rings," and they're like, "No, man, you like Satan." Oh, well,
whatever.
Sorry, man. Sorry, dude, bro. Sorry, I lost my Jack Johnson CD and I just kind of fell right into the lap of Dimmu Borgir. But I mean, that's what I think is great about metal, is that you can separate your beliefs from the music as a fan.
Right.
You don't have to believe, you don't have to worship Satan to like black metal, as you're finding out.
Right.
You don't burn churches down, do you?
Well, besides the other day. But no, usually I don't ever.
Usually you don't, but... So, I mean, you can still listen to this stuff, and you can take it, regardless of what the intentions were in the music, you can take it however you want. It's always open to interpretation. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, even if these bands mean their lyrics, if the lyrics are, worship Satan, burn the fucking church down, you can take it as, like, storytelling. You don't need to go like, oh, shit, they really want me to burn a church down.
Yeah, right.
I can't buy this because I'm not going to do it.
Right.
But, it's just part of the music.
Yeah.
I wish people understood that. I really do.
A lot of closed-minded people, though.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, people are closed-minded. And obviously, this is an extreme case where, it is kind of tough to listen to something knowing, like, well, these motherfuckers are for real.
Yeah.
But by the same token, then you also have a lot of the bands in that metal documentary. Again, Alice Cooper mentions that you go to these countries and these hardcore black metal bands, and they got like the corpse paint on and the upside down crucifixes. They're worshiping Satan, and then you meet them afterwards, and they're like, how's it going? And
they're all geeks, like, or whatever.
Yeah, and they're just doing it for the show. They don't care about any of this stuff. They just they pretend to worship Satan until the lights are off, and then they kiss their mom and play with their rosary beads.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that, actually, the Alice Cooper interview that they had there. He's another one who's puts on a great show. Mm-hmm. And you would think, I mean, from someone outside of the metal world, you would think, all right, that dude definitely worships Satan. But it's actually quite opposite.
Yeah, no, he puts on a great show. Remember, he mentions that he was banned from somewhere in England because they said, there was, violent themes and
too much gore.
Too much gore. And, looking back now, looking at Alice Cooper, looking at what's out now.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that, some of the brutal death metal bands are more harmful overall than black metal is. Black metal is speaking about a religious ideal. Brutal death metal, a lot of that is about, like, gutting people and, rotting corpses. Cannibal corpses, pretty crazy. I think that's a little bit more hard to swallow than somebody saying, I don't like Christianity, I love Satan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously death metal gets kind of a bad rap too, but that's a topic for another day. But... Yeah. I mean, I think you're right, and I think the stereotypes, unfortunately, aren't going away anytime soon.
No, yeah.
Because how do you? I guess you know what the follow up to this is. How do you break those stereotypes? How do you, if you're a black metal band who is into the sound of the music, is into the recording part, you don't worship Satan. How do you break out of the mold?
Well, I mean, you really can't to the people who barely pay attention to you. To the non-fans of metal, they're always going to look at it. They know what was original, and they're never going to investigate and, or go to their shows and be like, oh, no, these guys announced on their show that they're not like that. Never mind, I won't think like that. They're not going to, get into detail with that. So whatever they see originally, for the most part, they're just going to go. So you're never going to be able to break it from those people. But, you know, from fans, I think it's become pretty clear. You know, fans of metal, when you're a metal fan, you investigate, you check out a lot of the stuff. Like, you go out of your way to learn about the bands and what they believe in and whatnot. So you find the information from there and separate it. But overall, it's not going to go away.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. There's just so much more than what's on the surface of metal. You really have to get into it.
Yeah, as a metal fan, you dive into it and figure out a lot of the stuff that outsiders don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, look at Burzum. I mean, you dove headfirst into Burzum. I mean, you got the background of Varg Vikernes.
I found his story so interesting, you know?
Yep.
Even if it was, like, just a made-up story, you know, regardless, it was...
and yet some people would go like, oh my god, he killed somebody?
Yeah.
I can't listen to this.
Yeah.
When in actuality, if you're missing out on it, then that's you're missing out. But so yeah, black metal, fuck, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it just seems to be growing.
Growing, absolutely.
So on that topic, we mentioned should be right below this podcast on the page. You should see our interview with Skogan.
Yep.
It was a really great interview, and we can't thank them enough for taking the time to answer some questions. And I mean the very, very honest answers. And I think it was funny, we asked him, what kind of music they listen to, because you think, these Evil and Darkness guys, and he went on to list what all the band members were listening to. He didn't name names of who was listening to what, but the lists are just great, because some of it is like hardcore black metal, some death metal, and then you see like the Fleet Foxes on there. So, I mean, it's crazy, because you realize these guys, they're normal people.
Yeah, they're just regular people.
So they're listening to stuff too, and
yeah.
But definitely check out that interview. Let us know what you think about that, because it's cool for us to get these things done.
And hopefully we'll be having a couple more interviews for you guys soon.
Yep.
We're still waiting on a couple.
We're waiting on a couple. We're working on it. Our person Christine is hard at work trying to get these done. So we got a couple in the works for you guys.
So definitely looking forward to that.
Yep. Make sure again, keep an eye on our store. Had a couple great deals in the past couple of weeks. A lot of the albums that Murmaider reviews, some of these black metal bands, if their albums are available on Amazon, a lot of them are like $5.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to support the artist, because you pick up the album, at least they get something for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't walk into your local Best Buy or FYE and find an Alcest album or stuff like that, but definitely if you can, spend a couple dollars, support the band so they can continue making the music they make.
Yeah.
So we'll be back again next week with another topic, more great bands to talk about. Chester, thanks for the midget. I mean, I guess they're going okay. He hasn't been here, so...
Yeah, I actually heard that he's been very successful at the casinos at Vegas. I guess he hasn't left over there. He's still over there. He's he'll throw me a text once in a while, but...
Well, happily married to a midget, living in a casino.
Yeah.
It's the American dream, really.
Yeah.
But... Chester will be back eventually. We still got to get through his thoughts on Demu Borgir and some other assorted crap.
Yep.
So...
Oh, I just want to mention Mastodon.
Good night.